Rise and shine, rise and shine. Good morning to you. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully getting your day started off right. It is so beautiful outside, but this big ridge of high pressure, which has kept us super dry and kept us super hot, is going to start to move out these next couple of days. And as it does so, we're going to watch a storm system come in and really start to bring up those rain chances across Central Florida. When we talk about rain chances around town, they're going up and up and up. Take a look at the rain chances over the next couple of days. Today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, a 60% coverage of showers and thunder showers, all because, believe it or not, the remnants of Invest 93 are circling back around and moving on in. So we've got plenty to talk about this morning on Coffee Talk. And of course, we're going to be doing all of that with you. But let's start off and just kind of see where we're at. A lay of the land this morning. We've got, looks like, is that the Canaveral Princess heading on out? You've got one of the cruise ships there in port. It is a beautiful morning in Port Canaveral. Temperatures out the door are comfortable. Our first warning live Doppler radar, quiet in Central Florida, but Marion County friends watching some storms trying to tiptoe into Micanopy, Citra, Anthony, Reddick, Fellowship, Marion Oaks, Williston. We put the radar on laps, and you kind of see it moving through Gainesville right now. Eventually, this thunderstorm may try to sneak into Marion County, so we're going to at least keep that on our minds, right? Temperatures out the door, upper 70s for the coasts and Ocala. It's the lower 80s for the rest of us. And looking ahead at the day, it's 93 by 1 o'clock, 96 degrees, our high temperature on the day, and building to a 60% coverage of storms, but perhaps a little bit of a later start to those showers and those thunder showers. So, yeah, it's going to be a hot one. First off, let's just talk about the temperatures around town. It's going to be a hot one. 96 in Orlando, 97 degrees in Kissimmee. It's going to be 93 in Daytona Beach, 94 degrees in Melbourne. So a lot of hot air in play. And just like yesterday, just like the day before, from noon to 6 today, we're under impact weather. We do have heat advisories posted for Central Florida. And there you go, just essentially feeling like the triple digits around town. There's the heat advisories posted again for our entire area. So it's going to be one of those days. Good times. Gotta love that. If you're looking for ways to stay cool, you know the backyard swimming pool is a great day to do it. It's going to be an okay day for that, just because I would say the first part of the day is going to be great. But then into this afternoon, because we get into more and more of these thunderstorms, those are going to be things we're really going to have to watch closely for impact. So just keep that in mind, as you make your plans for the day today. Plenty of showers, plenty of thunder showers. We're going to be okay though. All right. And with that, let's take a look because we know those rain chances are going to be rising. Next couple of days, we watch the rain chances continue, but at least those storm chances start to help our temperatures a little bit. And Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast showing those rain chances staying pretty high the next couple of days, higher than normal coverage. The normal coverage of storms in Central Florida is about 40%, 50%. This is a little more, 60% coverage of storms. And then for the weekend, hot air again. Temperatures climbing back into the mid 90s and those rain chances coming down just a little bit. So that's kind of where we're at. We've got new stuff to track in the tropics. We'll be doing that in just a couple of minutes' time. We'll be looking at the models in just a couple of minutes' time. But before we do any of it, let's just pause on the 7-day forecast and say good morning to you. How are you? Questions about our local forecast before we get out to the tropics? Kara says invest out there. There is. We'll look at it in a couple of seconds. Janice flying. It's not, I mean, it's a shirt that I do wear for flying. No, I flew like 5.5 hours yesterday, so no flying today. I'm tired. I'm tired. We're good. Don't think it will be comfortable on a motorcycle or in a plane below 10,000 feet. Yeah, Tom, I was flying at like 5,500 yesterday and it felt okay. I was at 3,500 yesterday and it was not as okay. So yeah. Diane smelled smoke this morning. Any idea where it's from? I'm off work, so I haven't been tracking anything big. Wendy, my arms are so tired. Ay, 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 ay. Steph, so we have an idea of when the showers will be tomorrow. The Munchkin is dying to ride Men in Black for the first time, so trying to find time to get to Universal. I would say earlier in the day, the better. We'll look at Futurecast, though, coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. All right. So let's do that. Let's look at Futurecast, get an idea of the rain chances, and I'll go through tomorrow just for you. I got you covered. All right. The internet is being a little grumpy today, so forgive me if I'm running a little laggy. It's the way it goes sometimes, right? Does my plane have AC? There's no air conditioning in general aviation. Well, if you have buku bucks, the difference between air conditioning and not air conditioning is huge. So no, I do not have air conditioning. If it's 9,000 degrees, it's 9,000 degrees. Yeah, I don't get out of an airplane less than sopping wet during the summertime. That's the truth. All right, here is This Morning on Futurecast. Nice and quiet. Gotta love that. Notice by 12:30, already starting to see some sea breeze activity, particularly along the I-75 corridor. 2, 3 o'clock, more and more activity trying to sneak on in around the area. Right, there's that widespread 2, 3 o'clock, continuing through 6 o'clock. So dinner time today, widespread showers and thunder showers. Right through 7 o'clock, things start to fade. 8, 9 o'clock, continuing to fade, and we're going to be doing just fine. All right. Then what's interesting? Look at that. Okay. That's a little different. So remember when I said go to Men in Black tomorrow in the morning? Case. Tomorrow morning, look at the heavy rains around. That's 6:30 in the morning. Futurecast saying we're going to have some nasty stuff early tomorrow morning. Okay, so this is that storm system that's moving into our area. Tom says AC is additional weight. It's additional weight. I'm running 12 volts. You need 24 for the compressor. There's a whole bunch of things. Yeah. Oliver says you need to get you one of those suits that the NASCAR drivers and EOD bomb techs use, kind of like water cooled underwear. I feel like that would also be weight. I do have one of those rags that you put around your neck and you wet it and it feels good. I haven't used them in the airplane. Probably should, but I digress. Yeah. So look at tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's morning commute may have some storms in there, right? 6:30, heavy wave of rain around. 8, coffee talk will be tracking some rain. 9, 10. It doesn't look like an all-day thing. It just looks like that pulse of energy comes through. Interesting. I'm curious if the extended her shows that. And then for Wednesday, it's a quiet morning. But into the afternoon we get the sea breeze activity. So I want to look at the her model for tomorrow, the her extended. And if you're new to Coffee Talk, her stands for HRRR, high resolution rapid refresh. It gives us it runs just like Futurecast. It's just a different model, different physics that go into it. All right, her model. Let me Okay, all right, got it pulled up. All right, here's the her. This is what's called the her extended. Her usually only goes a few hours because it runs every hour. This version runs every 6. So this morning, quiet. There's 3 o'clock. There we go. All right, so the her is still going with the later day storms. Her may even be a little bit later than our Futurecast model. Right? Futurecast was more like 2, 3 starting, 4, 5, 6 widespread, whereas hers is like 4, 5 starting, 6, 7, 8 widespread. So that's going to be the difference between the her and Futurecast. But both are kind of saying metro off to the east for the bigger storms today. Then look at how her is also going with rains overnight into tomorrow morning, although her is bringing it through a little earlier. Yeah, 9, 10, 11. So hers almost going with a partial first half washout tomorrow morning. So it looks like both models are showing consistency in the idea that we're going to be getting storms early in the day tomorrow. So plan accordingly, okay? We've got that storm system moving our direction, which is why there is at least a level 1 risk for flooding, meaning today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we're at least watching for the potential of some flooding rains. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? Yep. Janice says, my son is driving me home from the grocery store. Get it done before it gets so hot. Now, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Oliver says, in Iraq, we would use a water-soaked sock to cool water bottles using evaporation. Didn't make the water cold, but it made it bearable to drink. That's that. Evaporation, it's the heat transfer. That's fantastic. I've never heard of anybody doing that, but you know what? That works. When I golf in this heat, I keep a couple of towels in a cooler filled with ice. Yeah. Justin says, Wesh 2 rocks. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Jay Reyes on YouTube says, Eric, next time let me work on your AC system. I can save you money. I don't have an AC system in the airplane, though. That's the thing. All right, just checking in on the comments. Justin says, I'm from Colorado. All right, there you go. I'm from Florida. All right, so we've got some decent rain chances the next couple of days. How much are we talking, though? Right? Let's talk about some of the rains and all of that fun stuff. Let me dial up. Boy, the internet's being grumpy today. All right, so GFS rainfall, we'll start here. All right. We'll just roll through the week. GFS says some areas 3 to 5, plenty of areas 2 to 3. European model. Some areas 2 to 3. What about Futurecast? Rainfall, where are you? Gotta find it. So many graphics. What we need is a new graphics package to clean some of this out. All right, let's see. There you are. Hi, Futurecast. Futurecast has entered the room. Hold on. Do we have a specific run here? What's going on? Latest run. Okay. There we go. Oh, you just needed to go buffer the data. Okay, that's fine. All right. So Futurecast is interesting that you're going just there we go. Okay. Keep getting data. Feel like it's go fetch the data. So it used to be that all the data came in to these weather computers via satellite, and it got it all. Now it's like data on command in some cases where it runs it, but it has to go fetch it off the internet and calculate it when I ask for it. So it's just makes it as much as we take steps forward in technology, don't we sometimes seem like we take steps backward? Oh man. Either way, we've got rising rain chances, right? Highest so far this year has been 96. Today's going to be 96, so today should tie as being the hottest air we have seen yet this year. All right? Does that make sense? Are we good with everything? You feeling good? Right? So we've got all that moisture coming in along that front. The remnants of Invest 93 are moving in. So these next couple of days, we watch for it as it hangs out in the Gulf because all of the remnants of 93 may end up being Invest 95 if it tries to develop. We'll look at the models and see. But that's kind of where we're at this week, okay? Questions, comments, concerns about our local forecast. Otherwise, we can move on and check the tropics. Here's our 7-day forecast. Now is your chance to ask. Let's see here. Lawrence says, got a battery operated motorized neck yoke fan for Father's Day. Works great. I feel like I got one of those a while ago. Now that you mention it, and I forgot. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever, it's just sitting on my desk here. Does this thing even work? Well, shoot. I haven't charged this thing in years even. Huh. Have to look into that again. Somewhat embarrassing, but look, if I'm flying and this is all that I got, the thing is that the air moves in the airplane once you start flying. When you're on the ground, it is rough. Heat does not like heat. It actually disrupts the signal. Well, that you created the other graphics. Tiffany, you created the other graphics package. Tiffany, all good things come in time. They make cooling vests, basically wearable ice packs for medically heat sensitive patients like those with MS. Shouldn't add too much weight, but should cool your torso down. Interesting. Interesting. Capture your sweat and recycle it through some sort of media and then use it for a gross swamp. It's Oliver. We're coming up with science experiments this morning on Coffee Talk. Oh, man. All right. Kevin's asking any risk of tropical depressions coming through Central Florida next week? So let's just slow. Let's talk a little bit about the tropics, okay? First and foremost, the easiest way to look at this is by looking at this is the tropical depression formation map, okay? This is using all the European ensembles, and basically you can see it's trying to show a medium chance of tropical depression. First off, I just want you to, before we go any further, just look at how the map around the Gulf, way out in the open Atlantic, both in the North Atlantic and in the South Atlantic, or Central Atlantic, I should say, showing colors. So this is essentially a way to look at the European computer forecast models, areas that its ensembles say, see some tropical development there. This is tropical depression formation. I mean, if we look at tropical storm formation, it's not really there. And it's certainly, if we look at hurricane formation, it's not there. But the idea is, yes, there could be some development in the tropics. So first, let's just look at the wide shot and get an idea of what's happening, okay? Out in the open Atlantic, there's one area kind of approaching the Antilles there. This is Invest 94. It has a low end 20% chance of formation over the next 2 days' time. Here, let's take a closer inspection on the satellite presentation. There it is. Winds are not all that impressive. Its core does not look all that impressive. It does not look like anything that's going to become a big bad hurricane. That's the good news. It's got like 2 days' time because by Wednesday, it starts to run into some wind shear. If you look out past the Turks, Caicos, and the Bahamas here, there's a little what we call a TUT low, tropical upper tropospheric low. That's going to throw some southwesterly wind shear in here. And as that system approaches the Caribbean islands, it's going to go face first into that. So it's got some opportunity for development, nothing significant. Could a depression form here? That's definitely a possibility. You just kind of have to wait and see how that plays out. All right, so that's what we're looking at now. The other thing, of course, is that moisture that's moving our direction. And while it's not anything tropical, right? Like at the moment or anything. Let me find. Hold on. Where are you? There we go. All right. So you can see that front north of us, right? We'll go even wider to the wider shot. You see that front well north of us. You see the moisture bubbling up just north of us out in the off of Florida's first coast. That front is going to help that moisture off of Florida's first coast start moving our direction. And that moisture is going to eventually be able to start. Why did you stop rendering at 3:03 this morning? Interesting. Are you still going? Okay, this is going. All right. So this is, I don't know why the other one stopped, but here we are. So you see those storms kind of firing up off of Florida's east coast. We're going to need to watch that because that's warm water. And as that kind of moves through our area, that's what's going to bring us the rain chances for tomorrow. And then, of course, as that sweeps into the Gulf, it may try to develop. So let's do this. Let's dial up the raw computer forecast models and let's get an idea, shall we, of what's happening. Okay. First off, this is the raw GFS. And what the GFS does, of course, is it looks at least in the mode that we're in, it looks at pressure. All right. The orange, the warmer colors, those are high pressure. Warmer, high pressure. The blues, the greens, the purples, that's lower pressure. Think of those as storm system. Okay. So over the next couple of days' time, there's that lower pressure moving in. Maybe trying to develop an area of low pressure. But by Wednesday, it's over on the Gulf side. And that's where possibility of development right there, right? That's Thursday over near Louisiana. And in case you're following along at home with us, yes, that does fit our long range pattern, right? I digress. Hold on one second. But look at that right there around Louisiana. And then there's something east of us as well. Broad, nothing crazy, but something. High pressure builds back in for the weekend. That's why it gets blasted hot again. There's the Pacific, bottom left corner shows it, right? And then more low pressure in in and around the Gulf. High pressure building in. Oh, yeah. The first couple days of August are just going to be gross hot. Ugh. But no hurricanes. No hurricanes. Yep. Yep. No hurricanes. Internet does not like heat or humidity. Disrupts the signal by expanding connection points. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Just checking in on the comments here. Let's see here. Regarding the tropics, Aaron's asking, with that west coast of Florida system, you think that hotspot could show an Irma? I'm not going to say, Aaron, I have no idea, man. I know the areas to watch, but as far as specific tracks and things, man, I just can't do that, right? Know what I can and know what I can't do, right? Nathaniel, good morning. Let's see here. Is it going to be a washout Wednesday and Thursday? There's just going to be moisture. I wouldn't say a washout. Retrofit a window AC unit on the side like an old Chevy van. You see, yeah, but I don't want to slow myself down, Matt. You know, I picture Eric sweating like Robert Hayes during the landing scene of airplane. I'm not that bad. I've got. Hold on. Let's see. I've got. Let's see. Did I ever show you guys video of me landing an airplane? I don't know if I have video of it. Got pictures. It's me landing. Hold on. Here. I'm not sweating like crazy. Not sweating like crazy. At least from landing. I'm sweating because it's 9,000 degrees out. All right, let's switch over. Let me switch over. Look at the European. Yeah, this internet is doing terribly today. I have to restart the router or something. There we go. Thank you. I'm glad that you could load the Euro for me. How many dropped frames do I have here? All right, 5% of my frames have dropped. So, yep. All right, we'll roll through moisture. So the Euro is showing a weak. It's not, this is Thursday late. Area of low pressure off of Louisiana. Nothing significant. Then east of us, there's something out there. Again, nothing significant, but a storm system to track. So the good news is, at least for now, there's nothing huge to watch for. Nobody wants there to be huge. We're in an active part of the pattern, and the Saharan dust, the wind shear is still there. I would add, as we get into August, as we get into late August and early September, that's when we're going to enter into that busy part of the tropical cycle again. Late August into September, of course, is going to be the peak of hurricane season, but that we know that that's the time frame that our cycles are active. So Invest 93, we know when that's coming back. And it's, we know the parts of the pattern. So late August into early September, watch, okay? Watch for it. Watch for it. Absolutely. Matt says LRC bingo, I just checked off their part. Right? Yeah. You just watch how this cycles through. And if you know Matt says LRC bingo is actually an interesting concept. Talking about that, Matt, I was talking to Gary Lezak yesterday, and he's like, we ought to, he's like, I want to talk about things again on Coffee Talk with you. So we'll have to pick a day, maybe a Friday, where Lezak lives in Colorado now. We'll have to wake his tookus up early and get him on get him on Coffee Talk so that we can talk about the patterns again. So maybe this, what's my Friday morning looking like? What's my Friday morning looking like? Stand by. I'm checking. Maybe this Friday. Okay, maybe this Friday. Maybe we'll get Lezak on this Friday. Think how hot you would be had you not lost all that weight, Betty says. I know, right? How about inflating the autopilot? I want an autopilot. I don't have one. Jeannie Rowan, why no AC in the airplane? Weight? Money. More money than anything. Yeah. And stop calling me Shirley. Picked the wrong day to quit smoking. Hottest part of flying for me is waiting for the. Oh, exactly, Betty. That's it. Well, that's when in my airplane, it's like the doors open, windows open. You pull up to the line to take off. It's like, all right, as soon as you get cleared for takeoff, close the door, close the window, boost pump on, lights, strobes, mixture full rich. Time to go. Yeah. All right. Questions, comments. It's always funny when you take somebody flying for the first time and we're taxiing and they're just like, the door's open. And I'm like, do you want to sweat more than you already are? I'll remember to close the door. But it's like you're going around and the door's open. Yeah. I understand. For somebody new, that's a different thing. Is the coastal forecast available? I can't promise that Kellyanne did it. This is the last iter. Yeah, she didn't do it. I'm sorry, guys. I can only use it if she's updated it. She didn't update it this morning. Uh, that's right, Oliver. Yeah, everybody's homework is to watch Airplane. Yep. Worse than having no AC in your airplane? You could be a roofer. That's true. That's true. Yep. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends? Just watching rising rain chances these next couple of days. Of course, I'll be posting as is needed for weather. So we watch moisture building around Central Florida, and of course, as we track the tropics, all that fun stuff. Of course, Karen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm not at work, so it's I didn't I don't know if you could tell. I put zero effort into Coffee Talk. I just kind of show up here, we just kind of hang out, you know. So forgive me. I'm not the Met on duty. I could make a forecast for you, but it's gonna take I'd research and it's my off day. B, you're not gonna sit here as I'm like, okay, so if you're not gonna want to watch that. Promise you. So all right. Cindy says, get on her to start updating that thing. Uh, I'm not the chief. That's not my job. It would just not be, yeah, appropriate. Okay. All right. Any lightning in Palm Coast? Yeah, I would say everything does want to kind of hang out. Metro off to the east, so I would say that that's a threat. All right. Being here is your effort. Well, agreed, agreed. But I'm looking at the forecast. I understand the pattern, but it's not like I spent the time to go digging in, sinking my teeth into it. If you've been around here a while, you know. Which may I also add, it has made it very easy, not very easy, but easier for me um, to just talk long form. Like coffee talk, I talk for half an hour today about a lot of stuff sometimes and about a whole lot not of stuff sometimes. So coffee talk definitely helps. Matt says bingo cards. So coffee talk definitely helps.